Okay. Well, I don't know when it's going to start. Technical difficulties. So I'm going to have to check here to see if I'm good. If we're going, I guess we are. Okay. All right. Well, hey, here we go. Sorry about that. Had it all set up to go, and then I went to go live, and we had a bit of an issue. So, welcome to the show. It's Monday. I always want to say Friday. It's Monday, June 12th. I got a few things to talk about today. And we're going to talk about Trump again being indicted. Um, Never ends for that guy. He should just go back to golfing, I guess. Uh, DeSantis is doing some deep fakes about Trump. We'll talk about that. Andrew Tate's back in the news, kind of thing. I mean, he kind of never really left, but he's kind of doing the podcast um, rounds, I guess, if you will. He was on Valuetainment with Patrick Bet David, um, I guess a few days ago or something. So we'll talk about that. What else we got? Tucker Carlson's now doing a Twitter show, which is kind of cool. I mean, we'll see for how long because apparently he's going to be sued. He's still under contract with Fox News, so we'll talk about that. What else we got? Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is going to become a beast, I guess. He's decided he's going to get in shape. Good on him. I mean, he has some health issues already, so that'd be a bit challenging for him. So I'm glad he's doing something. Might be a good distraction from the other thing going on with his channel. So we'll talk about all that, and we got some Canadian wildfires to talk about that've been going on for a little while. Record wildfires that are affecting you in the states. Some of your air quality in the northern states. We apologize for that. We're sorry for that, but um, we're Canadian. We apologize for everything. So, yeah, all that, and we'll talk about that. And we've got a little funny thing to end the podcast on. Let's say it's a funny way to eat spaghetti, and we'll leave it at that. Okay. So, all right, without further ado, let's get to it. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel now. If you're watching and if you enjoy the content, if not, well, all right, carry on. Um, Also, the live chat. You see the live chat? Jump in there, say some things to me. I'm a little lonely over here, so I would appreciate any conversation you want to have with me. Even if you want to tell me I'm a dill hole, that's fine. I got maybe. I was going to say I have big boy pants on, but not really. I'll probably cry a little bit. It's fine. So yeah. All right. So let me just set this up now. Let's hopefully it's actually working here. Because nothing was working. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, Tucker Carlson is in the news again. Nice to see him back. He's on Twitter. He's doing a I don't know if you'd call it a show necessarily, but it's kind of like a little pod, almost something like this, like I'm doing here. It's just a one man band. But he's got things to say, and people are watching. A lot of people are watching. I think his first one, I don't even know, it's got like 70 million views or something like that. Um, crazy numbers. I know the on Twitter the numbers are skewed as far as real views versus whatever, but still he's getting a lot of attention. But I don't know how long this is going to last because he's still under contract with Fox News, and I think that's on purpose. I think Fox wanted to silence him, so they've got him on contract till January 2025, I think it is. So he's at this point now, of course, he's going to be in violation of that contract. This is an article from NBC News, so take it with a grain of salt. But it just said that Fox News sent Tucker a cease and desist letter, alleging that he's breached his contract by launching a new show on Twitter. So let me see. Days after the network agreed to pay almost $800 million to Dominion Voting Systems to avert a high stakes defamation trial. I think that was ballooned up a little too. I think they try and wrap this idea around that it's all on Tucker and that they let go of Tucker because of that, and that was something that maybe Dominion said or wanted them to do. I don't know. It just all feels a little shady. They've got him on contract. They're paying him. Apparently, they're shielding him from any further litigation from Dominion. But look at the timing. He's on contract till January of 2025. It's a little bit of a weird timing, isn't it? Right after the presidential election. Everything seems to be kind of timed out for that, it seems. There's this weird thing. This election seems to be a pretty big election for the Democrats. They really don't. They're really trying to stop Trump from running. They're trying to stop um, someone like Tucker, who is. And it's funny. He's not even really someone that supports Trump necessarily, but um, he's been kind of favorable, I guess, on some of Trump's policies and things like that. So maybe you know maybe this is related. I don't know. It just all feels a little weird. The timing on everything feels a little weird. Um, but I don't see this stopping Tucker. I don't think he's necessarily gonna stop his show. I think he'll continue to do it. You know, oh, what are they gonna do? I mean, I'm sure he's got money at this point. They're gonna sue him for some money. They're gonna try and pull an Alex Jones on him, maybe. I don't know. Try and silence him into oblivion. But I just don't see it. I think he'll just keep doing it, and then I think I think he'll probably maybe he'll agree outside of litigation to keep certain topics out of what he talks about. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, he's done 2 shows now. Um, I haven't caught them, so I have nothing really to say about them. I've just seen bits and pieces about it. I just know that they're getting a lot of views on Twitter, which is cool. So it's good to see Tucker back. Kind of a fan. You know, I'm a fan of anybody who speaks the truth, or at least seems to be unbiased in their approach to the truth. They ask questions, things like that. You can't talk about everything, right? So, but if you pick the topics that you choose to talk about, you try and take an unbiased approach or a very centrist type of approach. I'm a big fan of that. So that's what I try and do. I try and see both sides of all things, even the sides I dislike. Try and see from those people's perspective. So, and that's what I think Tucker does. So, hey, good on him. Let's hope he continues to do his thing on Twitter. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about here is the Trump indictment. Um, this Trump indictment this is another bullshit indictment. The first one didn't work. They're just going to keep throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and hope it sticks, right? Whatever they can do to drag this guy through it. It's not like he's done anything here that's different than anyone else in the history of presidents. They all take documents. They all do this shit, but apparently, when Trump does it, it's worth indicting him over. So I guess now they're prepared for this is an ABC News article that I'm going to read here. It's or I'm going to skim through, I should say. So again, another one. Take it with a grain of salt. So it says he's been indicted on federal charges in investigation into his handling of classified documents, according to an indictment unsealed on Friday. The indictment comes after more than 100 documents with classified markings were found at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in August of 2022. He's charged with 31 counts of willful retention of national defense information. Okay, so here's the BS on that. 31 counts. You go through those 31 counts, there's redundancy. There's probably 10 counts that are the same thing. It's like, he kept documents. He kept documents in an unsealed container. He kept documents outside of the White House. Like, okay, how many times can you say the same thing different times? It's all the same shit. So it's probably like 4 different actual charges. And again, none of them mean shit because they all fall within normal behavior of presidents. So it's just different when he's doing it. I'm not going to read any of the rest of this. This is all bullshit. Like I said, it's an ABC article. So again, this is just one of those things where the timing's great, eh? Let's do it right during a run for president. And again, they'll do anything to silence him or to just distract and try and get it off of him, which is I don't understand. If you think you can beat him, see, this is where it all kind of this is where it all steps weird for me. Okay, Biden beat him the first time by a record number of votes. Why wouldn't you just think he could beat him again? Biden's been doing such a good job. Why wouldn't he just beat him in a general election again? Why wouldn't you want Trump to be the front runner? Why wouldn't you push for him to be the front runner? Because he's the devil, right? He's the guy you know you can beat. Unless, and this is just speculation here. This isn't me saying anything. Unless you're up to you're up to no good, and maybe you can't get up to that no good anymore. I don't know. Maybe that could be a thing. It's again speculation. I'm not saying anything. I don't want to say anything concrete. I don't want to get myself in trouble here. But you never know. Maybe that's their angle here. It just seems, again, this is a lot of baloney, a lot of shit that they've been doing to try and get him not to run. I guess I don't know. Maybe they feel like if they can just distract him enough, that he won't put enough effort into running. But I don't think any of this is going to work. I think Trump's going to be the front runner, and you're just going to have to get your Democrats are going to have to get your ducks in a row and hope that you're half awake, half alive, bumbling leader is gonna beat him again, because I don't think that happens. Okay, so move on to the next thing related. DeSantis. Okay, so this one hurts my feelings a little because I'm actually a pretty big DeSantis fan. And well, he got caught. He used fake images of Trump kissing and hugging Fauci, and they're clearly fakes. I haven't heard any rebuttal yet on it. I haven't heard his response if he's come out and said, he's denied any personal responsibility for it. If he's trying to blame someone, I haven't heard anything, so I don't know if that's happened yet. I don't know if they're just waiting for the dust to settle. But these are clear. If you look at these images, I don't have them up here, and I don't want to find them. So sorry. But if you look at the images, you'll see that they are clear fakes. So, and this is something. Okay, this is something that he wasn't doing that I actually liked that he wasn't doing. He wasn't really attacking Trump. He was allowing Trump to attack him, and realistically, the attacks. How can you attack a governor that's been doing a great job? And in the state that Trump lives in, like it was already bizarre that Trump was attacking DeSantis. I know it's his MO. He's that's what he's going to do in order to bolster himself. He's got to put the other guy down, but I don't understand it because all he has to do is just go on his good policies when he was president. Focus on the good, trying to not, or scathe off the bad, like his COVID policies and things like that weren't any good. Just push that aside and just don't go into this slander shit. But looks like DeSantis is falling into it too. It's like this. It's this weird thing that happens. It's as if these guys, they run for president and then they get these campaign managers. They get these personnel to run their campaigns completely, and these people are like, it's almost like they're in the deep state. Like they've been around so long, they've been running these campaigns. I ran the campaign for Obama, I ran it for Clinton, and I ran it for I've been running them for 40, 50 years, and they listen to these clowns because of their quote unquote track record. But I think these campaign managers are designed to kind of make the candidate, like they do things to make the candidate look bad at times. Like, for example, this doesn't do anything for DeSantis at all, running these slander campaigns on Trump that aren't even true. He could easily just say things that, he could just say Trump's a bully. He could say Trump is, he could just point out the things that's real Trump and say, do you want this guy in there, or do you want somebody who's a little more level-headed? There's so many different ways that DeSantis could go about his run without going into the pit. We'll say getting into the dirt with Trump. So that's why I don't know. At first, he wasn't doing it. Now suddenly he's doing it. You know, don't let these campaign managers run your campaign. I, I think I don't know. Like I said, I think there's some nefarious ends um, on this. I think some of them are doing this on purpose. You know, maybe they play both sides or whatever. But this doesn't bode well for DeSantis, and I think that unfortunately, I think this is gonna this long term. I think this will actually hurt his campaign. So, and again, like I said, I'm a fan of DeSantis, so I really hope that he can roll off this, or at least you know say something to the fact that maybe not necessarily sorry, but that it wasn't his intention to run this kind of campaign. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we get into Mr. Mr. Andrew Tate. He's back. I mean, sort of. I mean, he's doing podcasts now, which he wasn't really doing much for a little while there. Maybe just getting himself I don't know, climated back to regular outside of prison life. But um, yeah, he's back in the news again. So it looks like some women are coming out. There's like I think there's four now that have claimed that you know he's he's had violent sex with them and this such thing. I'll read this a little bit of this, even though I think it's baloney. A British woman who was accused Andrew Tate of raping her and strangling her until she lost consciousness says she feared the massage. And I love how they put this. This, by the way, is the Independent in the UK. They always do this, and I look, and this article is hilarious. The misogynistic, and it's in red because you can click on that to see what it means. Um, but also, so you see, misogynistic. Andrew Tate's misogynistic. Okay, so that the misogynistic influencer was going to kill her. The 30-year-old who was planning to launch civil legal action against Tate told The Independent that the social media personality told her he owned her and wanted to kill her after they had sex. Okay, fuck out of here. You know what? This guy is always going to be attacked. What's funny about this is okay, so this guy keeps getting attacked for this type of thing. We know the type of guy he is because there's enough shit out there that you can hear about him. He's a very alpha male. He he clearly says things to be provocative, but he makes intelligent points that a lot of people don't necessarily want to openly agree with, but do agree with. When he says things like strong men to protect women and things like that, that goes against the whole feminist movement. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with protecting a man wanting to protect a woman or a child, or for a man to just be in that protector role. That's a normal, healthy male attribute. It's a good male attribute. I think you should aspire to have all your sons be that way. I think strong men like that are very, I think they're the opposite of dangerous. I think the dangerous men are the weak men that are, that prey on weak people, the weak minded and the weak, um, you know, how do I say this? Like weak willed and all that kind of men. These guys that are just hurt, these incels and such that are hurt, they're just sitting in their basement just plotting on how they can get people back. All these women don't like me. Fuck women, I hate women. And they're just mad at everything. These are the kinds of guys that are dangerous. Not a guy who wants to hold the door open for a woman, or or take his coat off and put it on her when it's raining or cold out or something. This is the kind of stuff that we should be applauding, and this is the kind of stuff that Andrew Tate talks about. But he's provocative, so he says things that will ruffle people's feathers. Obviously, that's by design. It makes him popular. Um, but of course, he's rich. He's rich. He's popular, and he says provocative things. So he's a target. So you've got these women coming out and suddenly claiming that he's been abusive with them and such. Highly doubt it because of the everything else he says. It doesn't seem in line with his persona, his personality. And I love how all these accusations come out, but you really don't see any kind of evidence for it. Yet you have a guy like a Jeffrey Epstein for decades, literally decades, was doing the most overt shit with young girls and you know taking high society people who is little rape island and he was getting away with that forever. Then suddenly he wasn't getting away with it anymore. So you got to wonder what happened there. I don't think the evidence caught up with him. I think something else caught up with him. In this case, I don't think there's going to be evidence that catches up to him. Now, this is my opinion, of course, and I'm not based on anything other than the idea that this is what they seem to do. They try and destroy someone. This is the MO of anybody who wants to destroy someone who's popular and influential. They did it. They've done it in the past with everyone. I mean, they did it with Alex Jones. I mean, he did it a little bit to himself. Don't talk about kids being shot and stuff. And he obviously stepped in on that one. But they really put an end to him. And I think in this case, they're trying to do the same with Andrew Tate. Um, so I'm glad to see him back out on the podcast circuit. He's on Valuetainment with Patrick Bet David at this point. So if you want to check that out, I've caught pieces of it. It's good. Obviously, anytime Andrew Tate's talking, it's good. I mean, the guy is really really intelligent. Um, so if you can get past the idea that he's misogynistic, which is stupid, and all these other things that the media likes to claim about him, and just listen to what he's saying, I think you'll see a lot of value in that. All right. Well, again, we'll see how that plays out with Mr. Tate. But let's move on to the next thing here. Um, okay, so I didn't actually know this. Um, my buddy Mr. Beast over here, we're best friends, by the way. Um, he's apparently he's doing some kind of like fitness challenge or something. I think a fellow YouTuber might have bet him that he couldn't get in shape or something like that, maybe over a year. But say, okay, I'll read this article. This article's funny. This is essentially sports, so I don't know. I've never even heard of them, so it seems like a garbage article, but it tells you a little bit about it. It's funny because it contradicts itself. So in the title here, it says Mr. Beast shows off gains after 250 days of training amidst big time bet with Air Rack. Okay, so whoever Air Rack is, I'm guessing he's a fellow YouTuber, and again, maybe it doesn't contradict itself. But then it says here that something about him. Oh yeah, for the past 72 weeks, Jimmy has been religiously hitting the gym. So I don't know. Maybe I guess 250 days later, he showed pictures, and he's been going for 72 weeks. I don't know. There's a lot of weird inconsistencies in the story. But from what it seems, he's been working out for around a year, and it says here he's lost like 40 pounds. Um, yeah, confirming he lost over 40 pounds. Um, and he tweeted out, apparently he tweeted out saying something about, you know, he was basically giving homage to people that actually work out because he was saying it was quite hard. But good on Jimmy. I mean, the guy, if you know anything about Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donnelly, he has a disease called Crohn's disease, which is it's a it's basically ulcers on your bowels. So it causes all kinds of issues. Like you have dietary restrictions and issues. You can get severe bleeding. There's all kinds of different health issues with it. Literally to the point where it's for some people it's very hard to maintain weight um, because there's a lot of bowel movements and things like that. And it's definitely it's definitely irritated by food and poor diet and stuff. So if he was on a poor diet for a while, which he probably was, considering he was overweight, then he most likely was having a lot of issues with his Crohn's. So now, if he's going to get in shape, you probably see quite a uh, reduction in those side effects that he was getting from the disease. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, and now I mean, I don't know if anybody knows. I'm sure anybody watching this podcast probably has already heard about Chris from Mr. Beast and that whole thing, him transitioning, I guess. I don't know. I still don't know what he's doing because he claims to be non-binary, but he's transitioning from a male to seemingly look like a female. So it's all nonsense to me. I don't know. I can understand if you say that you are a man and you have gender dysphoria and you feel like a woman and you go and do all the surgeries and all that such to make yourself appear to look like a woman and you take on all the characteristics of a woman, but you're a transgendered woman. I applaud you. That's great. Good for you. And vice versa for a female going to transition to a man. But this whole non-binary thing, I just don't understand this. If you're non-binary, why wouldn't you just kind of non-binary to me would scream that if I said suddenly I'm non-binary, I would expect that you would expect the next time you see me, I'm probably just gonna have like facial hair growing out of everything. I'm really not gonna like I don't know, I'm not gonna groom the same way as I would. I'm not gonna groom to a man or a woman. I'm just gonna kind of be like, man, whatever happens, happens. So with this idea that you're going to change and do things to become to look more like a woman to me screams that you just have a you know something else going on, not necessarily that. And I digress. Obviously this was supposed to be about Jimmy Donaldson, but I think the Mr. Beast brand has been hurting because of this whole transition that Chris has been going. uh yeah, he's using Ozempic. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that would be a good way to lose some weight. Apparently these Ozempic is supposed to be this, I don't know, it's for something else, but apparently it's like this fantastic weight loss drug that people are using it for that. Which I'm sure in like 10 years from now we're going to find out everybody that's been using Ozempic for like weight loss is going to have like exploding hearts or something like that. But yeah, anyways, uh, Jimmy Donnelly, I think maybe the Mr. Beast brand is I wouldn't say it's in trouble because I think he's got it set up pretty well, and I think he's diversified himself pretty well. But I don't think this is the kind of attention that he wanted. So maybe this is him doing something to garner some good attention, some different good attention. So we'll see how it plays out. Anyway, okay. So move on to the next. Why is my thing going so slow here? Okay, these uh these darned wildfires that we started up here in Canada. I don't know if we started them necessarily, but a little weird as far as they're like this is like a record season for wildfires, and let's see here, more than okay, 450 fires burn across the country, and 220 of them are out of control. And this was as of today, actually. This was as of 4 o'clock today. Um, but good news is it was raining all day today, and much of the province, I think, there was some rain, so probably helping that out. But this there's some images going around, like satellite images showing all of a sudden smoke appearing in numerous places, um, and people are using that as an idea that they're that it's you know that's arson for sure. I have no doubt some of it's arson. 450 fires. Yeah, there's a percentage of it that's arson, but it was we did have a dry spell there, and there's a number of different things that could be happening there. If you ask Biden, it's climate change, of course, but you know, maybe a little bit. But again, I think it's stupid to say that arson isn't a factor here at all. Um, and there should be some investigation to see if that's the case, because obviously you don't want that kind of thing happening, especially since if you live anywhere in Canada, essentially anywhere um, in the province of Ontario or any of the northern states, you've known. I guess it was last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The air quality was horrendous. I mean, in Ottawa, Canada, it was at 14 on the scale. The scale only goes up to 10. After that, they technically track it as far as air quality, but 10 is like sort of the worst on the scale that they will tell you about. But it was at 14. So, and all that wind was blowing down to the states and bringing that air quality down. Like literally, I think it was Wednesday last week. I got up in the morning. The air was fine. By about 10 o'clock, you could you could taste it. You could taste the difference in the air and how strong, like it was palpable how different the air quality was just in a couple hours. So, um, so yeah, I would think if you're a U.S. citizen of any of the northern states, you would be concerned about that and want to know what happened and why we're burning all of our trees up here. Um, Seems to be a cool thing to do up in Canada. But again, we're sorry. We apologize for that. We'll have to see. So, like I said, with that rain, the rain's been helping. So hopefully, we get a little bit more rain, and they can actually put a dent into these things. Um, I'm not gonna read it. This is all bullshit. Um, Nobody cares about the details of this. Just um, just don't choke. Okay, that's 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 what the takeaway from it is here. Don't choke on our wildfires, and we're sorry. Okay, well, I got one last thing to talk about here. I'm going to end this podcast on a funny. Once I get it up here, on a funny video. Okay, so this video here, this is a video on Clown World. I love Clown World. If you haven't seen Clown World um, on Twitter, go check it out. Hilarious. Um, they put all kinds of videos. This one just tickled me, so I'm gonna play it. Unfortunately, I can't get the sound to work on it. But if you go to Clown World, you get it, and I'll probably repost this as a short where the sound will be there, so you'll get to check it out there. But here, I'll play this. So just to let you know, it's actually spaghetti music. So there's like spaghetti. So if you don't have a plate or a bowl or something like that, and you're hungry in a Target or wherever the heck this is, you might want to eat spaghetti off 3 women's asses who are willing to let you eat spaghetti off their ass. That's I find that hilarious. That's, this is what we're doing now. This is the kind of stuff that we're doing. You know, I think we've hit peak internet at this point. What else do you do? Every video's been done. So if you got an idea, you're like, okay, well, that idea's been done 1,000 times. Has anybody ever eaten spaghetti off 3 big women's butts in the middle of an aisle in a department store? Oh, that's not been done? Let's do that one. Gosh. And if you're hungry, again, if you're hungry, it's lunchtime. Why not? Spaghetti off the ass is probably pretty good. I mean, I have a friend who literally ate spaghetti out of another friend's vomit. So there's that. So if you don't want to do that, spaghetti off an ass is kind of like I think it's kind of like a second option maybe. Okay, well, after all that, I guess that's it. I have nothing else to talk about this week. Um, so I guess I'm just going to end it there. Thanks for joining me today. If you did, thanks Quadman for jumping in with a question or a comment, I should say. And if you've been watching and you're not a subscriber, well, subscribe now. It doesn't. You just have to click that little button, and unless you've got too many subscriptions already, just add me to the list. Check out our videos. I should say my videos now. I'm so used to saying our. My videos now every week. During the week, 5 o'clock, we drop a new video. It's a clip from a podcast, so check those out and like and subscribe to those, or like those videos, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. And check me out on Mondays at 7 o'clock. Jump into the live chat and let's talk. All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me.